Something is changing on Tebay Common. Something that will benefit us all. A wide stretch of land. You can see it rising above the M6 on the edge of the Howgills in Cumbria. It's a place of open moorland crossed with steep-sided, fast-flowing streams. Like most of our uplands, the commons have been grazed with animals for many centuries. All the trees that were once there have been lost, and much of the wildlife with them. The trees which fed insects and the roots which bound the soil have also gone. Yet now, the owner, Hugh Lord Lonsdale, and the farmers who manage the common have worked together to fence off streams and plant new trees. Soon, these young trees will be creating their own new habitat for wildlife, as well as helping water quality, slowing down floodwaters, and reducing erosion. We hope someday soon that more of the common will look like this.
Hello, my name's Alwyn Craven. I live here at Home Farm Hewby in North Yorkshire. I was born here. My dad farmed here for many years. When I came back here about 2 years ago, I saw what the farming system here was doing to it. It's intensive arable and grassland. There's a lot of spraying, pesticides, herbicides, and I didn't really like that. But I do believe strongly in conservation, in conserving our wildlife habitats. 97% of wildflower meadows have been lost, so I thought about all this and what I could do to try and help the situation. Back in November we had the giant plough arrive. One of the problems with woodlands created on farmland is that the flora can be quite poor because you have a very fertile soil which supports weedy things that outcompete more beneficial plants that you want to encourage. So we decided to do a process called topsoil inversion. This is ideal for establishing trees. So we organised some volunteer days. A group called Muslims for Humanity came twice and they planted between 2,000 and 3,000 trees for us. So that really got us off to a good start. This year we've planted 22,000 trees on about 50 acres of land, created about 50 acres of wildflower habitat as well.
So Alwyn, we're back at Home Farm. This is July 2016. We met you about 18 months ago and we had the discussion with you about what you wanted to achieve on this site, and it just looks amazing.
So what we can see is a lovely mixture of 5 different annual species. So we've got the yellow corn marigolds, we've got a few red poppies, the white and yellow corn chamomile, the purpley pink corn cockles, we've got the lovely blue cornflowers. So we've managed to plant 23,000 trees and shrubs, and of the trees the one that we've got most of is the oak, about 40% oak, and we've got a little oak here. It's already up to about 2/3 of the tube, so doing really well. And then 15% silver birch, 15% small leaved lime. And then in the wetter areas we've got lots of willows and alders and poplars. And then all around the edges and in the rides and the glades we've got shrubs like hawthorn and blackthorn and roses. So all the native wildlife that's really struggling, we're hoping to provide a great home for.
We're here in the Malastang Valley, the head of the River Eden, in the southeast corner of Cumbria. We're looking at a project which the Woodland Trust has participated in, whereby local people, farmers, landowners, Natural England, Environment Agency and the Rivers Trust have worked together to plant more trees. Trees which we hope will benefit the river for years to come. So why are we planting trees in this already beautiful landscape? Well, trees have many benefits: biodiversity, water management, soils and sediment management getting into rivers. All of these things will benefit people in the long term, and of course wildlife.
The very first thing we do is come and visit the site and obviously consult with the farmers and decide where's going to be the best areas to target. Next we'll come plan out where the fences are going to be, then we'll fence it, and then a couple of months later when it gets wet start coming in doing the planting, and that'll be 1,000 trees a day and for however many thousand trees we need.
My grandparents came here after the war and set up a dentist's in Kirby Stephen, and my grandfather bought this common for my grandmother for their 25th wedding anniversary, and that's why I'm here. I've always wanted to plant trees in Malastang. My grandparents planted trees in Malastang, my parents planted trees in Malastang. I've always wanted to do it, and to a certain extent recreate little bits of Malastang forest. The trees, they're very easy to chop down. They take quite a long time to grow. I've got my son here today, and he and his family will be able to enjoy the trees here. We need more trees. They're good for everything, aren't they?
The reason we're planting trees is to extend existing habitats along the river and watercourses, and to provide new habitats, new roosts for bats and birds, new leaf litter in the river to sustain the biodiversity within the river, and of course to store carbon, help with soils and help with water quality. In fact, we're asking an awful lot of these trees that we're putting in, and we hope that they are going to secure the future of the valley.
The impact of putting a large amount of trees, particularly in upland areas, is that where you have areas of high rainfall, the trees can be planted across flow pathways which will slow down the water's movement in the catchment, which then helps to reduce the incidence of downstream flooding because we're capturing more water, attenuating the flow higher up in the catchments. And the small streams are really important nursery areas for the species like brown trout and Atlantic salmon. What the trees can provide for those species is they can provide shading over the rivers, so it helps to keep them cool in summer. Quite often we've seen in the summer months streams like this getting temperatures up into the late teens and 20s, which can be critically bad for biodiversity. So if we get some shading from trees around the outside, it just helps to keep streams cool and mitigate against the impact of high temperatures.
in about 30 years I come back and say, I planted those 2 trees nearest the river.
So this is one of our exclosures, high on the fell. Within 2 or 3 years' time we'll get deeper vegetation here, probably heather coming back, which is good for wildlife. These trees will start to emerge from the tubes, and maybe within 10 years we'll have a canopy of trees here. Good for bird life, good for insects, better for water retention, and hopefully providing a wonderful place in the fells for people to come and see.